Welcome back to the show, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
How are you, buddy?
How you doing? How you, buddy?
How you doing, man?
Good.
Fighting, are you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you are.
Ant said that, your age, you look like you're in amazing shape, obviously, but you're 45 years old, and we're around the same age.
It's just basic nature.
It's got to hurt a little more.
In the morning?
A little more?
No, but I think you live different than I did.
Probably.
I try to stay in shape, but I mean,
this is the lifestyle. It's been a lifestyle for me.
Yeah.
I got aches and pains when I was in my 20s and 30s, and somewhat different.
A little different.
But at the end of the day, you learn how to manage that as you get wiser. Mm-hmm. Of course, that comes with aging.
Sure.
Some of us, not all.
Waiting for that to happen.
Yeah, but I'm good.
How long after a fight does it hurt? Like, you see guys come out of the ring. It's like, how many days are you like, you don't want to move?
Just lay in the bed, huh?
Yeah.
2, 3 days. I'd say about a week. I'd say about a week.
You lay around a week.
One thing about a boxing, it's punches that somehow that you can't, register all the punches that hit you in your body, your arm, your hip, your whatever. And the next day, you say, where'd I get this lump from? I don't remember back of your head, back of your neck, your shoulders. So, I got a lot of respect for football players because I understand they got more than one person they got to meet. But I know how I feel with one guy in there with him in the ring, whether I win the fight or lose the fight. You come up with some like lumps and bruises and that you don't even remember even getting hit with.
Where's the worst place to get hit as a boxer? Besides the obvious knockout punch, but where's that one spot?
The very worst place?
Yeah.
Low.
Low blow.
Low blow.
That's one of the worst.
So I don't know how you guys shake that off so fast sometimes, because a lot of times the guy's like, he's on the rope, he's pulling his fucking
you can't
shorts
shake it
down
off, buddy. That's the point. You can't shake it off. What you do is you just say, I got to suck it up. And sometimes, you know what? I mean, the worst thing is, and I experienced this person. I know this is a kid show, Disney, but whatever. But at the end of the day, I remember getting knocked out of my cup, if you know what I mean.
Oh, shit.
For 8 rounds, I had to go. This was painful.
Swinging in the breeze
It was
with that
swinging
thing.
in the breeze. And I couldn't even use it, for God's sake. That's what made me mad, because I couldn't use the damn thing.
Oh, damn.
I like Bernard Hopkins.
That's gotta hurt.
Did you win the fight?
Of course, I won the fight.
That's a good one.
And I've been winning a lot of fights over a lot of years, as y'all know. And I'm blessed to continue to do what I do at the advanced age of 45. I'll be 46 in January. So when the fight comes getting near, December 18th in Quebec, Canada, I'll be less than 30 days shy of being 46, which will surpass George Foreman's historical win over Michael Moore. When George was 45 years old, he did the unthinkable. He beat a young 26-year-old Michael Moore.
When did he come back to fighting? He was 40 what?
George Foreman, I think, was 42, maybe
Remember
41.
everyone thought he was completely insane at the time, and then obviously he proved everyone wrong.
He proved everybody wrong.
It's like,
George
is back at 42?
But see, George Foreman always had that punch.
Yeah.
And in boxing,
Giant meat hand to his.
especially if you're a heavyweight, really, that's all you need.
Remember shaking his hand that day at the studio?
It's like shaking a bear.
It's
unbelievable.
Giant.
He's
giant.
And Foreman was he was a bully in Houston. Like who are the guys that do other fighters? He used to bully other fighters when they were kids. Like other.
He used to bully the bullies.
Yeah, Foreman was a frightening guy, man. Yeah, and then Ali beat him, and
Can you imagine what he would have done if he didn't go away for so long?
Yeah, he went away
That's
for
like
years.
frustrating as a fan. You're like, what are you doing, George?
A lot of heavyweights that became champion would never became champion.
Of course not.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right now.
Of course not.
You think he hit harder than Ernie Shavers? They said Ernie Shavers is one of the hardest punches ever. You think Foreman hit harder?
It's different punches. You got George Foreman. Thump. He was like getting hit with a tree log.
Yeah.
He would clobby.
It's like getting hit with that fucking grill of his.
Right. George Foreman would miss you and knock you out.
Wait, you hear that?
He hit Joe Frazier.
And he missed him, actually?
He lived it. They fought twice.
Right.
I don't know what Joe was thinking about.
He fought him twice?
He fought twice.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And it was a rematch. Now, when a guy knocks you out in the 5th round, the first fight, you don't ask for a rematch. I mean, what could happen in 3 rounds? And what you did, knocked him out 2 times. He knocked him about 3 to 4 inches off the canvas. They got a famous picture. I can't forget it. George Foreman and Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier had on white shorts with yellow trimming, and he's he got hit with an uppercut.
Oh,
Yeah.
And
damn,
he had that
launched
style.
him.
He had that style. He crossed, and his feet is about 3-4 inches
He
off the
launched
ground.
him.
That was that was. I think he knocked him down like 6 times.
Yeah.
It was a horrible and Frazier was a tough dude,
he
man.
didn't win a second in that fight.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Foreman was a notoriously fucking frightening guy, and Ali wins the fight in Zaire. How, as a fighter, if a guy was, because Ali was so smart to
But
taunt
Ali
these
won
guys
here first.
in his head, right?
He was
Ali
a smart
won
fighter.
here. Well, Ali got the fans, and he got the. Excuse me, I cut you off. Go ahead.
No. But I say, as a fighter, how frustrated would that ruin your game if a guy did that to you? Because Ali did outsmart him. Like, would that, as a fighter, throw you off if your opponent was taunting you that much?
Well, not me, because I'm famous. I got some history. Remember the flag in Puerto Rico? You know what I mean? When I fought Tito Trinidad, I did a gutsy move that I'm not boasting and bragging about it because it was part of the promotion, and I got a lot of Spanish friends, and I like to go back to San Juan when I'm allowed back in there to eat and whatever. But me and Tito fought, and we had a press conference in New York, and then we had a press conference in San Juan, and I wanted to get in his head, and I took that flag and I put it on the ground, and we started out an all national riot. I mean, that was posted on networks that didn't even show anything about boxing. So that made a really, really, really controversial promotion hype. I never forget it. 2001, fight was canceled because of 9/11. We fought at Madison Square Garden. One of my greatest performances, as people know, I won that fight, and I became the undisputed middleweight champion of the world. But yeah, I love the head game, but you have to be able to back it up. You have to walk that walk and talk that talk, or talk that talk and walk that walk.
So what do you think, as a fighter, like, what's motivating you at 45 to fight? Obviously, you're still in great shape and you can still do it, but like a lot of guys just want to, after a certain age, you want to just relax and enjoy the money. I'm sure you're okay financially. So what is it that makes you want to do it again?
Well, other than loving the sport and loving what I do, I've been competitive for a long time. I believe I had a late start in boxing. I had a troubled past. I overcame that. I won my first title at 26, which is considered not a senior citizen when you're boxing, but it ain't a young 19 or 20-year-old like Oscar did and Fernando Vargas and the great young fighters or became old fighters. I think that Tom is not on my side forever, but Tom is on my side to at least fight a few fights. First, this one win a championship, and then give him a rematch, and then see what I think of continuing or retiring. But my situation is a little different than anyone else. As I advance in age, I also invested in my age early on, 20s, 30s. And I take care of myself. If this can be a message to anybody, I don't care if you're an athlete or you're everyday working people, you must take care of yourself early, like an investing, and you will get the dividends and you will get the blessings later. I'm in a hard sport. I am a physical sport. I'm not in a shape where I've never been punched or I've never been hit. It's going to be some effects to any boxer who boxed for a long time, especially over 2 decades, which I have. But at the end of the day, I love what I do. I respect what I do. That's why I keep myself in tip-top shape every time I step in that square circle. And when it's over, trust me, I know people's heard this before. We know when to quit.
Yeah.
Do we know that some fighters don't know how to quit because of certain financial reasons, because the crowd that they intoxicated about. With me, I have a lot of good business going on, a lot of good people in New York and also in Philadelphia, Miami, and LA with Golden Boy Promotion with Oscar De La Hoya. I do have a niche to go and sit back and grab a virgin pina colada and sit back and relax and smell the roses. But I'm an honest hustler. And I like business. I like being in the light, whether it's at the table, at the office, or is in the ring. But I know that the ring is going to end and is ending, but it's not going to end on anybody else's term but Bernard Hopkins. I will end with dignity. I will win this title and be the oldest fighter in boxing time. That is huge. This is my motivation of fighting. This is motivation for me to make history again. And 21 defenses as a middleweight champion. I don't believe anybody in any era is going to break that record. Moving up 2 weight classes, being a 5-1 underdog, and beating Antonio Tarver for the light heavyweight championship of the world that Ray Robinson and New York City over 30 years ago, couldn't come out for the 15th round to achieve what I achieved, and that's my hero, Sugar Ray Robinson, and also Marvin Hagler. I achieved that gold and became the first middleweight ever to win a light heavyweight championship, jumping 2 weight classes from 60 to 75. And now here we go again, fighting a young, up-and-coming, confident guy who just supposed to be and was the top guy at 175 pounds. I'm not fighting the cream puff here. I'm fighting a guy that's, I'm really close to old enough to be his father. and I will be December 18th.
When you watch like Tyson's last fight, as a boxer, what's a scary way to end the career? Like, because Tyson's like, I got no heart for the fighting anymore. There was a kind of a sad ending to a guy who was a very, very tough dude. To see him just kind of broken down a little bit there instead of just, what's your worst nightmare?
People can respect that when you fight and you end the fight trying to win. Whatever the outcome is, it's the outcome. But quitting is unacceptable. Fighters don't quit. And when you end that way, as you ask me, what's the worst way to lead a game, or similar question, the thought of my mind is that you have to leave with dignity. Win, lose, or draw, that's still dignity. You know what? You'll leave out of that auditorium or that arena and say, you know what? My guy didn't win, but boy, he put it out there. And the fans know. And so at the end of the day, when you sit on a stool and you say you don't want to go out there no more because you don't want to get hurt, we're in a hurt business, as Mike Tyson said in his early heyday in the 80s when he was slaying everybody. So the way to go out is to go the way out of dignity. Win, lose, or draw. You went out swinging, you went out fighting. Every red-blooded American loved that. They love that. They crave off that. That's what we made of. Never quit, never give up. I mean, the Yankees is under pressure right now. Okay, I'm a Philly fan guy, and I live in Philly. But at the end of the day, they have to win today. If they don't win today, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
What happens in Philly that what tough fighters they put out?
No kidding,
I mean, there was Liston, there was yourself, there's
Frazier,
Frazier, Meldrick Taylor,
Georgie Benton in the 50s and the 60s. I mean, you had so many great fighters come through Philadelphia. Welterweights, you had come from Philadelphia. You mentioned Meldrick Taylor. A lot of people, even from New York, that's listening, people can know, the older guys can know that, a lot of New Yorkers came to Philadelphia. Fighters and promoters and managers came to Philadelphia to get the best sparring. Philadelphia was known as a tough, a little bit of New York, but, Philly got their own thing like New York.
Larry Holmes, you guys claim Larry Holmes,
Larry
Holmes,
Easton? But Easton, anything
Close
with
enough.
PA.
Yeah, PA, anything
with PA.
Watch out for PA.
They want to be affiliated with what? Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Easton, Pennsylvania doesn't scare your opponent. No. Okay? Scranton, Pennsylvania doesn't scare you. Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania doesn't scare you. But Philadelphia,
forget it.
That guy can fight. He's a tough son of a, you know what? And guess what? We got respect all over Europe. So we got it here.
What do you think of, as a boxer, mixed martial arts, which has become so popular? And James Toney fought Couture, which,
wasn't even competitive. I mean, Couture first of all, I respect Couture. I met him in L.A. a lot. He's an old school guy, just like me.
Yeah.
And
I think he's 47 or 46.
47. Yeah, he got me by a couple. But I wasn't really turned on to the UFC and MMA. But I watched a guy in my gym fight. And he also got a fight coming up soon. And I'm a fan now. And I can go on air and say that. I'm a fan now because, you know what, at the end of the day, no matter who hates, I hate, or whoever, they are athletes in their own way. They got their own skills. I couldn't do what they do. I would get my ass kicked because I'm out of my element. Well, you're in the ring, Bernard? No. Yeah, I am in the ring. I know where I'm at. But it's a different arena. But in the same token, they train to do what they do. So you have to take their hat off. And let me tell you something. I got on board about 5-6 months ago. I go on record. I have been on record. I respect those guys because I've seen the way they train. It took for a guy to be in Philadelphia gym right now as we speak today. I watched him train, I watched him spar with fighters, and I watched him learn the boxing of boxing, and I watched his coach, who I'm a friend of, teach him the other stuff. And they add both together, his boxing and his martial arts. So I respect the training, the fighting, and what they do. When you step in there, as James Toney did, and as everybody witnessed, or whoever watched the fight, he had no chance. No chance. Now, you take that same MMA, UFC guy and put him in my arena, where he can't have takedowns, he can now have this or that, he would be out of his element.
Yeah,
so
just stand up and
they
boxing,
have to get the respect, and I'm giving that respect, whether they need it or not, that they are bona fide athletes, and they need to be respected just like football, basketball, boxing, hockey, or any other sport.
Yeah, those. It's almost like Anderson Silva wants to fight. He's a guy that wants to actually box. But most guys in the UFC, I think, are smart enough to not to just go toe to toe with a boxer.
They can't
that's why no one have done it. That's why no one have done it. I mean, you hear boxers calling out UFC guys, but you don't hear UFC guys calling out boxers. And you know what? That goes to tell you the intelligence that they got to know their lane. They know their lane. So, I mean, it's not like, trust me, none of those guys are scared. I mean, we know they're not afraid to be in the ring. The guy's getting busted upside the head with an elbow, kicked, in the groin or whatever, even though things are legal and things are fair. But I know these guys ain't scared to fight a boxer. It just, they understand that a lot of their attributes won't be displayed.
It wouldn't be the smartest thing for them.
It wouldn't be, because
they know that.
They got to leave their weapons at home.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
It's like when you're boxing, see a man like myself, I occasionally hit the heavy bag.
You sure do, Jim.
I sure do.
You wouldn't last a minute. I'm looking at you right now, and it looks hard deceiving, but I can look at you right now. Soon the bag will knock you out. And the bag doesn't have arms. What are you talking about? Are you kidding these people early in the morning? They ain't had any coffee, and you're talking about you used to box? Look at him.
No, I didn't box.
He's a mess.
You're leaving Bernard Hopkins hanging.
If you keep doing it, you're going to be sleeping.
Yeah, Bernard's trying to high-five Danny.
I'm trying to high-five, and I had him up there like I was saying hi or bye.
I was too busy laughing at him.
You're roughing this place.
Oh, but he does hit the heavy bag there, Bernard.
No, yeah, I wasn't trying to imply that
Show
I
him your
boxed.
muscle. Show him your bicep. Show him the bicep.
There's no need for men to compete. I know my lane.
Let's see.
As Bernard said.
Bernard, would you like to see his bicep?
Let's
show him the
see his
bicep. Come on, show him the bicep.
I don't have a bicep. I have a... All right,
let's go. Let's see.
All right, that's my bicep.
I don't want to
pull it up.
I've never seen in my life a guy show me his bicep and a bump pop up on his shoulder. I mean, listen, I hope everybody is up here in New York, because this is something. You don't need your coffee. Just listen. Just continue to listen.
Oh, my God.
Just a man like myself, who maybe my workout regimen is not quite what...
Right. I'm sure you need to step it up a little bit.
I give him some tips. I ain't going to be too hard on the fans. I give him some tips before I leave, because I've never seen a guy squeeze his arm to pop up a muscle and something pop up in his back. No, literally, seriously, his shirt popping up.
You think he pulled his back muscle or
He
something?
pulled his back muscles, his shoulder muscles, whatever. That's the wrong muscle you're supposed to use.
Yeah.
That muscle's supposed to come out of your arm, not your back.
Well, I figure I put everything into it. Sometimes things happen.
Bernard, you're a funny guy, man.
Yes, Bernard's great.
Really funny fucking guy.
I hit the
But
bag.
December 18th in Quebec, Canada, the executioner will show up. Trust me. He's sitting there waiting, and he's waiting to do his job. He normally don't, say anything. He comes in and take his business and then leave, like the executioner do.
We got 2 months before the fight, so.
Yes.
So you're still in the middle of training, obviously.
I'm just finishing up preseason.
So what do you do?
Does a preseason and then you get really...
Yup, it's to get the
What's preseason all
Preseason
about?
is to make sure all the mechanics is going right.
Right. What kind of workouts for preseason?
Well, we call it, start the engine. All right, we start the engine. That means we do some wind sprints. Okay, we check the oil. That means you see if your eyes are good. The speed bag, the swivel bar. They got all kinds of instruments in the gym where you can check A, B, C, D, all the way down. You can check these things. Then we have... Without even getting in the ring boxing yet. I haven't even threw punches since the Roy Jones fight in the ring with a smart partner. The bag, as he mentioned, he hit the bag. I've been hitting the bag for power. Bag is only for power, not for speed. That's why it sits there like a dummy and it gets hit. Now, speed bag, it has a rhythm. You create the rhythm. The rhythm is called timing. The timing brings eye coordination and reflexes. Okay? That's why you hit it with both hands, not one. The swivel ball. The swivel ball is a speed bag, but with 2 rubber bands from the top and a rubber band from the bottom to the floor to the ceiling. And that's a ball that can knock you out if you don't move your head once you hit it, because it's coming like this, it's coming like this, it's coming like that.
That thing is a pain in the ass to try to hit.
And guess what?
It's almost impossible.
I've been doing it 23 years, and guess what? I get hit every damn time I hit it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes. So I don't feel bad. Far as everything else, it's basically ground floor work. Shadow boxing, okay, stretching, working on certain points, certain jabs, visualizing somebody in front of you when there's nobody. That's why they call it shadow boxing. You're shadowing with yourself, but you got to create an image in your head. That takes a mentality. That takes experience. And then you gradually, which will be this week for me, because I've been doing this for 2.5 weeks now, preseason. Now we're going into what? The training, the teaching. And Brother Nazim, who's been with me over 13 years, will start laying out the blueprint on how to systematically dissect and take this guy apart and use his youth as a negative to him. He's a young guy. He's a confident guy. But
not smart.
Young is not smart.
I got you.
So you use kind of his inexperience
against him.
Wow. So do you run?
Young people are reckless by nature.
What kind of time in the gym? A couple hours,
4
maybe?
hours.
4 hours a day?
Yeah.
I heard 20 minutes a day is all you need.
3.5 to 4 hours because I do like multiple things. And I have 3 or 4 sparring partners. My job is to run the first 3 out there the first quarter of the week. And if I can get 1 out of there, 2 out of there, I know we're on the right path because we bring another fresh body in, and we go a live body, and we go in there and we train.
How do you not lose so much weight if you're working out so hard?
Oh, it's the way you work out. I'm doing core work. I don't lift weights. And the things I do is different every day. That's a great question because you can burn out. You can sort of disintegrate. What I do is I have something Monday that they give me. I don't ask for them to give me what I want to do. They surprise me.
Right.
And normally I know what the surprise is going to be, but some days Monday be different than Tuesday.
They can't trick
me. I've been doing it too long. But they normally come up to you boxing today. And I'm like, I said we're going to box. We went boxing yesterday. That's what I mean by that. They're trying to see, Nazim plays with your head to try to see, okay, you didn't know you was going to box today because I told you wasn't, but you are. Now, can your mind click back in there? If you go in there, I ain't really supposed to do this today. I'm going to go through the motions. You understand the mental game? Right now, there's 99% mental at this stage of my career.
Right.
Like you said, I mean, you think I haven't seen Pascal style before? Of course. I've been around the game too long. You think I don't know how to get in shape? Bernard, you walk around in shape. That's the book on you for 20 years. Okay, well, I know how to do that. Bernard, are you mentally, physically ready for it? There's always a chance of a breach. And that's why you got to check that swagger. You got to check that ego. You got to check all that stuff to make sure that it's right. And that's what Nazim is great at. With me, it's 99% mental. Everything else, I do for a lifestyle. I like to look good in my clothes. I like for people to say, man, he's 45 years old. Look at him. Look at his thing. No cuts. He's talking well. And that, to me, I get excited by that. I don't get an erection, but I get.
Oh, I hope not. No.
So you don't eat cheesecake?
Yeah.
No cheesecake for you?
I eat cheesecake as a celebration.
Yeah, I don't cheesecake rules.
I love cheesecake, man. Yeah. I love all kinds. I like the fancy stuff. See, the plain cheesecake, the traditional. Okay, it's good. Yeah, if nothing else around, but the cheesecake with the.
What about the pumpkin cheesecake?
I love the pumpkin cheesecake.
I knew you would.
I was going to have some of that recently, and I decided against it.
How could you not love the pumpkin cheesecake?
I love it. Even though they're not one of y'all sponsors, but it's this restaurant. I forgot the name, but it's they sell a lot of different flavors, and I like to go there and I say, give me the pumpkin. I get like 3 or 4 slices.
There you go. Jimmy eats 3 or 4 slices, right, Jimmy?
Yeah. I don't drink wine. I don't drink. Occasionally, non-occasionally, I don't care what the celebration is. Yeah. This is something I don't do. Give me cranberry juice or water. Everybody know that's my style, no matter where I go. But at the end of the day, I'm human. I want a piece of cheesecake and relax. If that's my only, if you want to call it Grinch, then come on.
A little cheesecake.
Yeah, cheesecake is one of it's hard to not eat cheesecake or get a prostitute, I find. I mean, I take it one step farther. I also eat cheesecake.
You probably get a prostitute quicker.
Yeah, it's less devastating effects on me.
I think. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Well, are they pulling out?
Yeah, I think we got to wrap up because he's got a lot going on today. They said we have you to 8:50. I don't know. Yeah. Is that? Yeah, she's looking at her watch out there.
Because I'm not leaving unless we're done.
We love talking to you. I want to talk.
No problem, man.
I love the prison stories and everything.
That's the prison, politics, and let's go. McNabb, Michael Vick. I mean, we didn't even go. We didn't even hit the hot spots. Man.
I love the Michael Vick.
I mean, I hit the hot spots before I came here, and I can't hit the hot spots now.
Well, I wanted to, but he.
All right, Michael Vick what? Michael Vick what?
Do you think that he's back in football now? Should all be forgotten, or do you think what he did was kind of Because I have kind of mixed feelings. Like, a guy should be able to do what he wants, but I like animals, so I kind of feel like,
I have 3 animals. But at the end of the day, man, listen. I mean, I'm probably a little biased. I am a little biased. I met the guy. I talked to him. He's in Philadelphia. But at the end of the day, man, listen. If we all look at what we are under, and that's of forgiveness and redemption and all this stuff. Listen, no matter what situation it is, certain things that I'm gonna tell you as a human being that I can't forgive child molesters. I can't forgive people who take advantage of older people and kids and babies. I mean, certain things, I mean, I can go on and on about certain topics I want to pick out, and someone would say, well, Bernard, that's not right. Wrong is right. Wrong is wrong. And wrong is wrong. Right is right. But at the end of the day, he has a life to redeem himself and time for right now to redeem himself. And I think for right now, and I can't speak for next year, 6 months from now or whatever, right now he's doing that. He's doing a lot of things in Philadelphia and probably other places, but I know Philadelphia because I'm like the ambassador of Philadelphia, and I see the things, and he's done some things with me to go out and educate people about dog fighting. That's a big thing, not making no excuse. That's a huge thing in inner city, man, and I'm not making, whether it's right or wrong, it definitely is wrong. But I never got into it. I never, because I love dogs, I love animals. I couldn't sit there and watch 2 dogs maim each other. But at the same time, I think that we give him an opportunity because I've been given an opportunity. I did 5 years in the penitentiary, and I was told I'd be dead by 18. I told I was be dead or bum or this and that. And you know what? I believed that, and I wanted to live up to what they justifiably should have said to me because that's the way my behavior was. But something happened to me in my mind, and something made me, and I know what it was, say to myself, I'm going to prove them wrong. 23 plus years later, not only did I walk off 9 years of parole without a parking ticket, but I became one of the forces in boxing history, as they say. And I also became a businessman of respect in boxing, which is unheard of for boxers to be. Yeah, we know about my partner Oscar De La Hoya. We know about Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray that is. We know about certain spots of fighters in certain times who've done well. But it's more who haven't done well. It's more who showed a different side that stereotype all boxers in so many ways. I'm great that I had that opportunity to redeem myself, and I think he should get that chance.
What got to you, though, that made you turn your life around? Like, was there an incident?
I just got tired, man. It wasn't because you got the first year and a half.
Was it something that happened in prison?
No,
where you're like,
no, listen, the first year and a half, man, I was just like all the inmates, running around, praying on a prey, like I did in the city. And in Philly, it was like I was getting the guys on the streets that was just as bad as I was. They told the cops on me instead of taking care of themselves. Thank God. I've been stabbed 3 times.
Jesus.
I got my wounds to show it. But at the end of the day, I don't, like I said to people, I want to, let people understand. I said, jail didn't change me. Because when I went to jail, they had cable, they had certain things. And again, I know a lot of inmates, if they listen, they probably say, well, what do you mean? Why Bernard trying to take out cable? What I'm trying to say is things I didn't have in the streets that I had there. And I said, wait, this can't
be that bad. You got more stuff in prison than you had out on the street. We talked about that.
All my friends, y'all talked about this?
A little bit, yeah.
When I got there, I see more friends there than I had in the streets. So it was like, to me, it was like, wait a minute. But then, like I said, we clicked, and I'm going to ask that question. I know we got to get out of here.
Sure.
Is that I started boxing in the gym. They had a boxing gym in Greater Falls State Penitentiary. It's well documented. You can Google my name. Archives is up in there. And I got back into the gym, and I just got tired of being locked up. I seen guys who was there for 15 years, 20 years, saying they don't want to go home. They will either beat up a guard, beat up an inmate so they can get what they call a hit. A hit is they get more time. I'm like, why these people don't want to leave? I didn't, even though my body was locked up, but my mind wasn't. And you reverse that. You could be locked up mentally and be in society, but won't do nothing to produce what's good for you and your family. And you could be mentally incarcerated and physically incarcerated if you're in. Now, I wanted to be out, but I wanted to be out not only mind, mental, but also in my body. And I told people that I'm going to stay, and I'm also become the middleweight champion of the world. And it took some time for me to achieve that, but I never gave up. That's the movie. That's the book. That is the inspiration.
Right on. Well, they're definitely telling us we got to get you out of here.
The fight is
December 18th.
December 18th. It's of course the great Bernard Hopkins against Pascal. Oh, it's on Showtime.
Showtime. Free here, pay-per-view in Canada.
Bernard, I can listen to you all day long. Come back and say hi to us soon, please.
No problem.
Bernard Hopkins, everyone.